What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some excellent attachment combinations for every gun in Modern Warfare 2. And in today's episode, we're finally moving into the sniper rifle category, and we're going to start it off with the MCPR-300. And let's kick this off with our one-shot kill zones and ranges, and as you can see here, from 0 to 57 meters, which is going to cover nearly every practical line of sight in the 6v6 maps, this gun is going to be a one-shot kill anywhere in the torso, starting from the groin up, and also from the elbow up on the arms. So it's actually quite forgiving here when it comes to that one-shot kill potential. However, from 57 meters to 86.4 meters, we do lose the one-shot kill potential to the arms, but still anywhere in the torso, it will be a one-shot kill. And then finally, beyond that 86.4 meters, this is where you have to hit them in the upper torso, neck, or head if you want to maintain a one-shot kill. But this sort of range really only applies to something like Ground War or DMZ or perhaps Warzone, although I'm not too sure if the stats are identical there. In either case, let's move on to our rate of fire, which is 40 rounds per minute. It is worth noting, I know a lot of you guys use sim.gg to get your stats, and it is a great website with excellent tools available. However, many of their sniper rifle stats don't actually line up with what you experience in the game, and the rate of fire here is one case of this, although it's only off by 1 round per minute. But with this, our rechamber time is just over 1.5 seconds, which is quite slow, and therefore obviously fairly punishing if you miss a shot. Then our aim down sight time is 600 milliseconds, and this is actually the second best in the sniper rifle category, but it is still quite a slow aim down sight time, especially if you compare it to like a bolt action marksman rifle. This is about twice as slow as those. So as far as quick scoping goes, at least without attachments, this doesn't really excel there. But finally for this, we have our Sprintout times, which are 250 milliseconds for our standard Sprintout time and 375 milliseconds for our tactical Sprintout time. And this is pretty normal for a sniper rifle, and honestly, it only really comes into play if you're hip firing out of a sprint anyway, which you probably shouldn't be doing. As for bullet velocity, we have an amazing bullet velocity with this gun at 780 meters per second. This is fairly standard for the sniper rifle category. Almost all of the snipers have this same bullet velocity. Next, let's get into our hipfire spread, and as we can see here, the MCPR is among the better sniper rifles when it comes to hipfire, but of course, this is a very wide hipfire spread still, and unless you're going for that camo challenge for this gun, I definitely don't recommend going for hipfire kills. After that, I did want to take a quick look at recoil, and normally recoil is not really all that important with sniper rifles, but I did want to point out that this is one of those guns in this game that doesn't fully recenter after every shot that you fired. Meaning when you fire a shot, the gun will kick up, it never returns all the way back down to center by itself. So this is something you have to manually compensate for. Generally speaking, it's not a big issue, I just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of it. And now let's move into mobility, and all of the sniper rifles in the game have very similar mobility values, so this is going to fall right around the average. Generally speaking, this falls between a marksman rifle and an LMG when it comes to your general movement speeds around the map. So you're not going to be super fast running around the map, but you won't be as slow as an LMG. And it's also worth noting our aim walking movement speed is ridiculously slow with these, and therefore you're generally not going to want to be strafing in fights with a sniper rifle. Next, let's have a look at our reload add time, which is technically above average for a sniper rifle at 2.6 seconds. However, this is still a bit on the slower side when you compare it to many of the other guns in the game. And it's also worth noting we get a 10 round mag by default, which is better than all of the other sniper rifles. However, if you use a 5 round magazine, not only does this improve your handling stats, this also improves your reload time, and it's now just 2.23 seconds. Then let's get into a bunch of other unique attachments on here and how they impact our aim down sight speeds. As you can see, we've got 3 barrel attachments, and only one of them, the Orca barrel, will improve our aim down sight time, whereas the other 2 will harm it. We have 3 rear grips, and only one of those, the Cronin Cheetah grip, will help with our aim down sight speed. It's a similar story with our stocks, only that Merc stock has an impact on our aim down sight time. And then of course we have our 2 different magazine attachments. Basically, if you drop 5 rounds from your magazine, you improve your aim down sight speed by about 50 milliseconds. And if you add 5 rounds to the magazine, you're going to be harming your aim down sight speed by 50 milliseconds. And with that, I also want to dive a bit deeper into the barrels and have a look at their range values as well as velocity. And as we can see here, the first barrel, the 22-inch OMX 456 barrel, will improve our damage range by 12%, while also improving our velocity by over 100 meters per second, which is a very nice improvement. However, I'd say all of that would be complete overkill for 6v6 in this game at least. But then we also have the 17.5-inch Orca barrel, which hurts our damage range by 10%, and the 19-inch Silent Fire, which hurts our damage range by 19%. And then finally, for the unique attachments on this gun, we do have two different bolts that we can use. The first of which is the Cronin B85 bolt. This one will cut our rate of fire down to 33 rounds per minute, so it's quite punishing in that area, and all you gain is rechamber accuracy, which honestly, I don't feel like it's worth it at all. Whereas on the other side, we can hurt our rechamber accuracy for a 2 round per minute increase to our rate of fire. And honestly, that's not a very noticeable improvement, so you may actually want to consider just staying away from these bolts entirely. And with that, we can finally move into some excellent attachment combinations I've got for you guys, and the first build I wanted to share is my more aggressive build. And with this, we are using a VLK 4X optic, because this actually improves our aim down sight time quite noticeably. Although it does decrease our zoom level, so this is more designed for like 6v6 for instance, although you could use it in ground war if you wanted to. Additionally, we've got the 17.5-inch Orca barrel, the OLEV laser, the 5-round magazine, and the FSS Merc stock. And I've tuned everything that you can tune for improved aim down sight speed as well. I don't normally tune too often, but in this case, I definitely wanted to. And with all of this combined, it brings our aim down sight speed down to 430 milliseconds, so that is a massive improvement, and that makes this very viable for quickscoping now. It may not be as quick as the bolt-action marksman rifles, but it's still pretty quick for those quickscopes, and you get a much more forgiving one-hit kill area compared to those bolt-action marksman rifles. So that's the first one, and this one is great for the 6v6 maps and just playing a bit more aggressively than you would with other attachment setups. Now let's get into a more balanced build. This one's designed to be used much more like an actual sniper rifle, so hanging back, picking people off at long ranges. And with this, we're going to use the standard optic. We've got the Schlager Peckbox 4, which doesn't help our aim down sight speed as much as the OLEV, but this is designed more for like hard scoping, and you don't want that laser just always visible while aiming down sight. We once again have the FSS Merc stock tuned for maximum aim down sight speed. We also have the Cronin Zero grip, which is going to help with flinch resistance, but we can also tune this for maximum aim down sight speed to help a little bit there. And then finally, we have the high velocity rounds, and I've tuned that for maximum velocity as well. And finally, I do have the Cronin smooth bolt on there, and I know I just said that this is generally not worth using because it only improves rate of fire by 2 rounds per minute, but the reason I put it on here is just for a lack of a better option. I don't want to hurt my aim down sight speed, so barrels, muzzles, and underbarrels are not going to be a good choice for me. And I kind of like using the 10-round magazine for a build like this, so I don't have to reload all the time. So I just thought, why not throw that smooth bolt on there? And with all of this combined, our aim down sight speed is slightly improved, not as much as the previous build, of course, but it's 550 milliseconds now. And our bullet velocity is incredible at about 850 meters per second. So that's a very nice improvement there. Not a whole lot of bullet drop. You don't have to lead your target a whole lot either, unless they're really, really far away. And this is just an excellent sniping build that's designed for actual proper sniping. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's gun guide on the MCPR-300. And when it comes to my thoughts on this gun, while it's not my favorite sniper rifle to use in the game, it's up there. I would say it's in my top 3 for sure. I think it's just good and balanced all around, and I like the fact that it has a 10-round magazine by default. That's a nice bonus over the other ones. It's got a great one-shot kill potential, solid bullet velocity, and just as an all-arounder, I really do enjoy this sniper rifle. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts on the MCPR-300, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this gun in those comments down below. Also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description of the video. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.